I've gotten some requests to, one, share more about my decorating process, and two, give a little office tour. So today is the lucky day. The office is where I film every single video that you guys see, especially since we moved. So you've seen it go through a lot of different phases. I don't know if I would say it's in its final form right now, but it definitely is close. And it by far is my favorite room in the entire house. It's also the room that I spend most of my time in. I work from home, so I obviously spend most of my day in here. So let's walk through how I took my Pinterest board inspiration and then curated it into my perfect little office room. We'll break it down step by step, so that way if you are working on a room as well, you know exactly my process and how I'm gonna do it for every other room in this house. And then you can do it too. But first, if you're new here, my name is Crystalyn. You can call me Chris, and we chat all things mind, body, and planet on this corner of the internet. So I hope you guys stick around. Okay, let's start with step one. Now, before you get into inspiration photos or visuals or trying to pick out certain pieces of furniture for the room, I like to start with words to describe the space. I know it seems like that's not gonna have a big impact, but I will say those are the words that will guide your decisions on what you bring into the space, what colors you choose for the space, what artwork you end up putting on the walls. So for me, I came into my office and I knew I wanted it to feel clean, I wanted it to feel cozy, obviously functional. I knew I wanted to film videos in here, so I needed to have a background that looked aesthetically pleasing for the background of these videos. And I also wanted it to feel bright and inspiring. So those are the words that I use to guide the rest of everything else we're going to be talking about. Step two. Now this is where it got to be way more fun. And that was defining, what do I like? What do I actually like? So let's pull up my Pinterest board. So just to go through some of my initial photos here are some of the things I knew that I liked. I loved shelves that felt curated but very personalized. I loved the photos that incorporated color but not too much color. Like the walls were still a neutral white, but then there were accents like pillows or curtains that brought in the element of color and playfulness that I wanted. I loved cozy lighting. That was another thing I feel like I pinned a lot of. I also pinned a lot of things like artwork that I wanted to evoke the same feelings that I wanted in my office. So is that artwork hanging in this office right now? No, but do I feel like the vibe of that artwork is the vibe of this room? Sure. So when it came to pinning photos for my Pinterest board, I would pin anything and everything. If it felt like I wanted it to look like in my office space, I would just pin it to this board. And then I would go through and then condense down the photos into a more curated mood board. So on here, you'll see things like just random patterns that I loved and felt inspired by. You'll see a lot of shelves. You'll see just color combinations. I remember this photo of this like bedspread was what sparked my initial thought on this color scheme for this room. So you'll see a lot of similar colors in that photo translated also into this room. I really liked the light blues, the florals, the greens, but again, with a neutral background of the walls. So I pinned a lot of things like textures, colors. I'm pretty sure somewhere in here I even saved like a font of something that I was like, yes, like if this room had a logo, this is the font that room would use. So again, I use Pinterest more as a tool for showing emotion rather than like a shopping to-do list. If you're taking the same approach, I recommend saving images that feel good, not necessarily like you want to recreate that photo. Sure, some things you might pull inspiration from, like maybe layering artwork or something like that, but you're going to be really disappointed if you pull a bunch of photos and you're like, I want to recreate all of these looks, and then you get into your room and you're like, wait, that's actually impossible. So you're just pinning things that feel good. I also try to pin things that I know I already have or could like upcycle or DIY. Okay, so now that you have your inspo and it's all loaded into a Pinterest board, this is where things get a little crazy. Now, I will have a disclaimer. I did have somebody help me with creating my mood board. So everything post mood board, I did completely myself, all the furniture, all of the pillows and the designs and the curtains and whatever, all of that stuff I brought in myself. But the mood board, I did have somebody who is a professional who helped me narrow down my big picture ideas into just one select mood board. And I would say that was so helpful. So I'm gonna put her information on the screen if this is something you're interested in. I highly, highly, highly recommend looking at hiring her. It's not that expensive. And the value I got out of that one session to be able to curate this mood board, I've been able to apply that practice into the other rooms in my house. And it's been really helpful in like guiding what those rooms look like as well. Okay, so now you have all of the inspo, but now you have a room that's empty or maybe has some stuff in it that needs some TLC to get it from point A to point Z. So what's next? At this point in the process, I like to look around my house and figure out what do I already have? Or what are some of the pieces that are going to have to live in this room no matter what? So like, it's my office, my desk has to live in here. Other things I knew that I had that I thought could work in here was one of these shelves. I had one of these IKEA Billy shelves and I thought to myself, okay, maybe a second one could fill this wall nicely. And then I had some bar stools that I am now using as little side tables for the daybed. Those were the things I was starting with here. And I thought to myself, okay, now that I know what kind of furniture I already have that could work in this room, let's work this all into a mood board. Taking all of that inspiration from the photos on Pinterest, from the colors and textures that I liked, to the furniture I already had and knew had to live in this room no matter what, taking all of that, dropping it into Canva, and then this is where Annie helped me so much in navigating all of these photos and condensing it down into just one mood board. This is the mood board we came up with. Now you're looking at the final product. This took probably an hour to condense down and be able to tailor each of the pieces into what this mood board looks like. It started off very, very different than what you're looking at now. Even though it took some time to get it to look this way, this is what guided every decision of what I brought into this room. And it made it so much easier having one mood board to always like refer back to when it came to like hanging stuff on the walls or figuring out what color bedspread should I be putting on the daybed in here. Sure, you could go into decorating and designing a room without having a mood board, but the mood board really helps. Otherwise, it's super easy to get distracted by like one random inspiration photo and then realize that photo doesn't actually match what you're going for in that room. And step 5 was putting the room together. From the mood board, that was the guide of everything that I ended up bringing into this room and every reason of how and why I decorated the way that I did. Now, I do have to say, the best rooms, the best homes are curated over time. So it's best not to rush this process. You could go to HomeGoods, you could buy everything that is on your list all at once, but the second you get it into the room, it's going to not feel the way you want it to feel. You're not going to feel as connected to the space in the same way than if you slowly built and curated the way that the room looks over time. It won't feel as inspiring, and I'm speaking from experience because I've done that in the past where I just started from scratch and then bought everything from Target or Amazon or wherever that was kind of cheaply made. And then I got it into the room and thought to myself, all right, yeah, like sure, it looks good, but it's not inspiring. It is way more fun to collect pieces over time that you love. And then when you bring them into your home, each piece has a story or a thought or something that you love about it that you can reflect back on. And then that can guide you and, you know, make you happier or make you excited, make you feel connected to the space in a way that you wouldn't get if you just, you know, bought everything from Walmart. I know it feels annoying to have to wait or to feel like your room is just constantly unfinished. I mean, hey, I still don't feel like my office is 100% done. I'm not sure if it will ever feel 100% done, but it is so worth it. I promise it is so worth taking the time to curate the space. And here is the final office tour. This is how it ended up looking. It is filled with all of my favorite things, from books to jelly cats and like random stuffed animals. I think they're so cute. I love collecting them. I have art that has been passed down. I even recently hung up the dried flowers for my wedding bouquet, so it's super fun to see those on the wall now. And of course, if you look closely in my shelves, there are a ton of trinkets that just make me smile when I see them. Some of them have memories. Some of them are things I found at the thrift store. Some of them were passed down or gifted to me, and I just love looking at my little trinkets. The other thing that I was really torn on buying was this piece right here. So I almost went with a pull-out couch instead of the IKEA daybed, but I am so glad that I went with the IKEA daybed. It is perfect for reading. It's perfect for hosting. It actually extends out into a queen-size bed, so it's an extra guest room in case we ever need it. And let's be honest, it is perfect for dog naps. I swear Otis makes a little nest on this bed every single day that I'm working. Now, like I said, this room is still a work in progress. Eventually, I want baskets to better organize my shelves. And every couple of weeks, I get inspired to do something completely new in here. One of the more recent additions were these curtains, but this rod is hung so low, so I need to hang it up to finalize how this is gonna end up looking so they don't drag on the floor. But the curtains I got on sale at a West Elm discount store, and they are so cute. I love these. I'm so glad I waited instead of buying a random pair from Amazon. I love getting to show off the room that I spend most of my time in and that you guys see in every single video. I hope this video inspires you to decorate your room in a similar way. Follow the steps that I gave you guys. It really does help to make a space that is filled with intention and a little bit of playfulness too. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments if you want more of these like Pinterest pin with me vlogs. I can show you guys either for just cozy crafting and Pinteresting ideas of crafts that I want to do, or even Pinteresting some things like my closet. I think I want to do that. That sounds fun. I need to definitely update my style, especially for this closet mini series that I am prepping for, that I'm very excited to launch in 2026. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if there's any other places or any other things you guys want to see from me. I am more than happy to make videos based on what you guys want to see. So thank you for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!